Hey guys, love this win. What is our better defensive structure that won it for us? Well, it seemed to me with McAvoy, I often had trouble sort of working out nominally who his man was. They seem to be able to zone off really effectively. We know Sicily does that well all the time. But if a guy like McAvoy is able to do it too, and to what extent is that Hawthorn's better defensive positioning? To what extent is that Richmond? To what extent is that Hawthorn's pressure further afield? Now, I think that was a big factor because Richmond seemed to be sending a lot of high sort of nothing balls into that 50 and not particularly deep either. And Hawthorn didn't have a lot of trouble spoiling that. Life was really hard for Rewalt and Lynch, wasn't it? So that obviously helps. But I think it was more than that too, because you have a look at the replays. A number of times McAvoy or Sicily were finding themselves in not acres of space, but enough space to be able to not only negate a forward thrust, but rebound from it. So, like Clarko is very big on positioning, so that was clearly a factor. But to be able to achieve good positioning, you need to have sufficient pressure from upfield, otherwise you don't get the time to position properly or to zone off because the ball's zinging in and Richmond are themselves getting to the right spot. So, look, it's a bit of a cliche, but a real team effort in that regard. I think every zone of the ground played that role and applied that pressure beautifully. And it was also reflected in the tackle count too, which I was going to actually call up. But I mean, do you think Hawthorn's defence tonight was as impressive as anything about the performance?
They, first of all, got a really good game out of James Sicily, who, he doesn't rely on this, but any defender is going to be stretched if the ball is brought in quickly from a centre bounce or for a stoppage, and it becomes more of a true one-on-one contest. And of course, when it's a turnover, they become completely, in the current game, without any ability to arrest the inevitable score, which is often a goal. If you can get that entry to slow down, if your midfield can get on top, if your method of pushing up the ground can deny a team getting a quick breakaway, and if you can guard the centre corridor, then the defender's night becomes immeasurably easier, and a player like Sicily, who is an attacking aerialist, becomes an incredible weapon. So last week he was fighting a rearguard defence against Geelong all night, and also I don't think particularly liked the narrow ground that didn't give him much room to move in. He plays beautifully at the MCG where there is more separation, and I think for all he was spoiling tonight, that's all he had to do. McAvoy marked, but as a safe option, also spoiling. It was Sicily creating the dangerous run, and you know what? A player like that marks and rebounds as quickly as anybody in the competition is super valuable. So I think a combination of restricting the entry speed combined with a more suitable dimension of backline that allows for some separation and that Sicily plays comfortably and knowledgeably.